Some people think bullies grow out of it. Mine didn't stop until I forced reality to change. When I was in primary school, year 4 about 14 years ago, there was a boy I'll call L. L wasn't just mean. He was relentless. Every day, he picked on me, teased me, humiliated me. He never let up. I remember going to bed crying almost every night because he made me feel so small, so powerless, like I didn't matter at all. But one evening, everything changed. It was a Thursday. I was riding my bike home with a friend when L suddenly appeared from an alleyway, riding straight toward us. 2 other boys were with him, twins, the kind of kids who followed without thinking. I told L calmly to leave me alone. I said I didn't want any trouble. Instead, he knocked me off my bike. He stood over me, calling me ugly, laughing, telling me to watch my back at school, warning that things would get worse. Normally, that would have been the moment I broke down.
But something inside me snapped.
I looked straight at him and said, "If you don't leave me alone, I will tell everyone you hurt me and that you threatened my younger brothers." He stepped closer,
Pulled my hair.
got right in my face, told me to go ahead, do it. Then he humiliated me, climbed back on his bike, and rode away with his friends. A few streets later, I stopped with my friend. I told her I needed her help. I asked her to hit me hard. She hesitated, terrified of hurting me, but I insisted. When she did, one of my baby teeth came loose. I put it in my pocket and told her if anyone asks, tell them exactly what happened and say that I'll hurt me. When I got home, I forced myself to cry, mostly by pressing my finger into the empty space where my tooth had come out. I went to my mom in tears and told her Elle had hurt me and scared me by mentioning my brothers. My sister overheard everything. She exploded with anger, grabbed her phone, stormed out of the house saying someone had crossed a line with her family. That night, I sat quietly on the couch, ice cream in my hands, watching The Simpsons. For the first time in a long time, I felt safe. The next day, my mom took me straight to the head teacher's office. She demanded a meeting. I told my story again, the truth and the lie mixed together. I thought Elle might get a warning, maybe a lecture. Instead, everything escalated. He was suspended immediately. The situation was taken so seriously that outside authorities were notified. The school held an emergency assembly, making it clear that bullying would not be tolerated under any circumstances. I was questioned. My friend was questioned. She backed me completely, and I've always respected her for that. Later, I learned that Elle was expelled from the school entirely. The twins were also punished and transferred elsewhere. I never meant for it to go that far, but deep down, I knew something had to stop him. Years passed. About 2 or 3 years ago, I got a message from Elle on Instagram. I was shocked. I hadn't seen or spoken to him since that night. He admitted he had bullied me, said he regretted it. Then he asked something that stunned me. Did I really hurt you that night? He genuinely believed he had. I told him the truth. I told him he never hurt me, that I had lied. When he asked why, I reminded him of my warning and how he told me to go ahead and do it. After a pause, he said something unexpected. He said he respected that I followed through. He told me what happened after. His family was strict, furious. He was punished heavily. Authorities spoke to him. His behavior was monitored. He was homeschooled for a year and then sent to boarding school for the rest of his education. He told me that if none of that had happened, he probably wouldn't have changed. And that thought still stays with me. One last thing. A few days after the incident back then, my sister found him in a store. She cornered him, scared him badly, made it clear that if he ever came near me again, there would be serious consequences. She wasn't being cruel. She was being a big sister protecting her own blood. Some people think high school drama fades after graduation, but sometimes it lingers in the most unexpected ways. This happened last spring, 2025. Like the title says, my ex-boyfriend Tom, 18M, broke up with me just a week before prom, all so he could take another girl instead. At first, I was heartbroken, confused, and honestly a little angry. I didn't know what to do. But the first person I called was my sister, Emma, 20F, who was away at university at the time. And as always, she came through for me. Her boyfriend, John, 21M, had a younger brother named Jake, then 19M. And without hesitation, Jake volunteered to go with me to prom. I had only met him once before, but his excitement was contagious. At first, I just wanted to make Tom jealous to show him that breaking up with me didn't break me. But something unexpected happened. I ended up having a truly amazing night with Jake. Honestly, I think I had more fun than I ever would have with Tom. By the end of the night, I could feel myself falling for him, and it was unexpectedly sweet. Now, on to the revenge part. Tom's mom had never liked me, but she had often said how excited she would be to hear his name called during graduation. That gave Emma an idea. A plan so perfectly petty, I couldn't believe it. On the day of graduation, Emma, John, Jake, and a bunch of their friends from university came prepared, armed with air horns. Emma and John positioned themselves near Tom's mom, while Jake and others scattered around the stands, some even under the bleachers. They all knew exactly where Tom's name would fall alphabetically. When the moment came and Tom's name was called, they all sounded their air horns at the same time. Chaos erupted, and Tom's mom couldn't hear a thing. The look on her face, priceless. After the ceremony, Emma overheard Tom's mom complain to the school administration, but they told her there was nothing they could do. Emma almost lost it laughing. Jake and John certainly enjoyed the prank, but Emma was clearly the architect of this playful revenge. Her planning, timing, and execution were flawless. Fast forward, today is 7 months after graduation. Jake and I are still together. I'm not just happy. I'm in love with him. And my sister, she will always be my hero. She wasn't being cruel. She wasn't trying to embarrass anyone unnecessarily. She was being a big sister, protecting her own blood, and helping me find a little justice in the most fun, harmless way possible. I'm at a complete standstill with my husband, and I honestly don't know how to move forward. I can't ask my friends, and I can't ask my family, because my husband says their opinions would be biased. So, I'm left trying to figure out whether I'm truly overreacting, or if my frustration is actually reasonable. For the past 2 years, my mother-in-law has picked up our son from daycare every Friday and kept him overnight. It became a routine. She would often say, "Just assume I'm taking him." And for a long time, we did exactly that. But over the past 6 months, that routine has slowly fallen apart. Now, almost every Wednesday or Thursday, I receive a message saying she won't be taking him that weekend. I understand that plans can change. I really do. What's difficult is the timing. By the time we find out, it's already too late for us to make plans of our own. I've explained this to my husband several times. I told him how frustrating it is not knowing whether we'll have childcare until the very end of the week. I asked him to speak with his mother, because whenever I address concerns involving our son, she tends to dismiss me and then immediately goes to him anyway. Months passed, and nothing changed. Eventually, he told me to just talk to her myself. So I did. We have a group chat on Facebook, the 3 of us together, because in the past, there have been misunderstandings, and she said situations. One Wednesday, she messaged the group chat, saying she would not be taking our son for the next 2 weekends. That felt like the right moment to finally say something. I made sure my message was respectful and appreciative. I thanked her for everything she does and told her how much we value the time she spends with our son. Then I explained that having more advance notice would really help us plan. I said that moving forward, we would assume she was not taking him, unless she reached out first, preferably at the beginning of the week. That way, everyone would be clear. She read the message and didn't respond. No reply, no reaction. Based on past experience, that silence usually means she's upset, but instead of talking it through, she avoids the conversation entirely. 3 weeks went by, with no contact. Then Christmas came up. With the holiday only a week away, my husband called her to discuss plans. That's when she finally brought it up. She told him that my message made her feel like a babysitter. She said it was unreasonable to expect her to commit by Monday because things can come up. She said she would rather we tell her in advance when we have plans instead of expecting her to confirm. My husband tried to explain my point of view, but the conversation happened while he was out, and I was home with our son. When he came back and told me what she said, I felt my frustration rise immediately. He said that after thinking about it, he actually agreed with her. He explained that sometimes she has a difficult week at work and shouldn't feel locked into plans too early. I responded by saying that's exactly why it would help to know when she is definitely taking him. And his response was that confirming early wouldn't give her the flexibility to change her mind later. That's when I really felt stuck. I suggested that all three of us talk together to clear everything up. But based on past experiences, those conversations usually end the same way, with him agreeing with her and me feeling like I have no option but to go along with it. So now I'm left wondering, am I asking for too much by wanting clarity? Is it unreasonable to want to plan ahead when a child is involved? Or is this less about scheduling and more about boundaries and communication? What would you do in this situation? Is there a fair compromise here? Or does this feel one-sided? If you enjoy real-life stories with a human touch and honest questions, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Reddit-style reality stories.